Dear children, first I wish you all the best and extend my hearty good morning to all of you. Children, today once again I have come before you with another very important topic of grammar that is prescribed for you in your CBSE syllabus. Children, the topic is voice, in which we study the broad and all the initial parts and elements how to change voice. So first I would like to tell you how the topic voice is further subdivided under two heads, and those two heads are active voice and passive voice. Actually, in active voice, the subject is prime and the subjects act as doers. They directly perform the action in active voice. But in passive voice, an object is prime and the subject in passive voice, that is an object, an agent, is not a doer but a receiver. Because whatever the action is taken, whatever the action is performed in passive voice, it directly affects the subject itself. Such as Ram eats a mango. In this sentence, the Ram is subject and he is performing the action of eating. Naturally, the action of eating is transiting from subject to the object, mango. But if we write the same sentence in passive voice, that is, a mango is eaten by Ram, in this sentence, a mango, that is the subject, is does not perform any action, but the action performed in this sentence is directly affecting the subject itself. And in this way, we can safely submit that the subject in passive voice is not a doer but a receiver. Further, I would like to make you aware about a few facts that must be taken care of at the time of changing voice. Number one is subject becomes object and object becomes subject while changing the voice of a sentence. Whenever we change the voice of any particular sentence, the subject of that sentence is used in place of object, and the object of that sentence is used or placed in place of subject while changing either from active to passive or passive to active. Number two, only past participle form is used in passive voice sentences. This past participle form of a verb is also known as V3. So the second point is that we must use only V3, that is past participle form of a verb, in passive voice sentences. Number three, a very important point, the voice of a sentence is changed only if the sentence contains a transitive verb. The sentences containing intransitive verbs do not change their voices. So, for changing the voice of a sentence from active to passive, the sentence must have a transitive verb, such as Ram writes a letter. In this sentence, Ram is subject, write is verb, and letter is an agent, that is object. So in this sentence, we have an object, a letter, and the verb certainly is a transitive one. And the voice of this sentence can be changed. A letter is written by Ram. But as soon as we have a sentence without a transitive verb, rather it contains an intransitive verb, in that case the voice cannot be changed. Such as, I go to Patna. So in this case, the verb go is an intransitive verb. That is not a transitive verb. Children, at this level, one thing might be there in your mind. Sir, how can we classify whether the verb in the sentence is a transitive verb or an intransitive verb? Of course, children, you can ask some question using what or whom with verb. Suppose we have a sentence, Ram eats a mango. Then you can ask a question, what does Ram eat? And then we get the reply, we can get the answer, Ram eats a mango. So if we get a reply, an answer with our questions with what or whom, then the verb is a transitive verb. And if we do not get any answer with our questions what or whom, it means the verb is an intransitive one. As, he smiles gently. So what does he smile? Whom does he smile? We cannot get answer with such questions. We cannot get any answer if we ask questions with who, what or whom. Some other examples are there. I sleep on the bed. What do you sleep? Whom do you sleep? So, in these sentences, we are unable to get any answer if the questions are asked with what or whom. Naturally, such type of verbs are intransitive verbs. But if we get the answer with what or whom, that verb is a transitive verb. So children, I would like to make you more clear. At this stage, while we are talking about transitive verb, and I cited you an example that Ram eats a mango. Here we have an object, mango, a mango. But children, sometimes we find how some of the verbs are monotransitive verbs and some of the verbs are ditransitive verbs. A close and minute observation of transitive verbs encounter us with two different types of transitive verb. One is known as monotransitive verb and the other one is known as ditransitive verb. So a monotransitive verb carries only one object. But in case of ditransitive verbs, a sentence can hold two objects. And if we find a sentence containing two objects, we should not get panic, because While changing the voice of such sentences, we can use either of the objects. We can write either of the objects in place of subject. And in case of ditransitive verbs, means sentences containing or the verb containing two objects, you may well notice how in most of the cases one object is always a living being and the other one is always non-living being. And on the basis of being living or non-living being objects, we classify them under direct object and indirect object. But at this time, at this stage, I do not want to divert from the main point. I simply want to say you, if you get a sentence in which a verb contains two objects, it is not a matter to be panic. You can use either of the agents, either of the objects in place of subject while changing the voice of that sentence. But one thing is there. If possible, if we have not to put any extra leaping and vaulting stress on direct object, we should prefer to use indirect object in place of subject while changing the voice. And as I told you, generally a living being object is indirect object. Actually, you cannot get any idea in finding out direct and indirect object on the basis of living or non-living objects in your books. There we have some clues to find out direct and indirect objects by using to or for. But a long and continuous practical experience of mine is that whenever we have two objects in the same sentence, out of those two objects, one is always living being and the other one is always non-living being. And while we go through the scrutiny and the close examination of direct and indirect examination by the rules referred in different books, we usually find that living being is always indirect object, and we should prefer to put living being object in place of subject in a sentence while changing the voice. Thank you, children. And in our second spell, I will give you the clues. I will give you the ideas how to change the voice of different types of sentences, either based on tense or different types of sentences classified under different heads on the basis of their meaning. Thank you, children.